Salutations to all our future judges. In this video, we are going to see the tips for success in Civil Judge Main Exam, Part 1. In this video, we are mainly focusing on the skills which are expected in Main Exam. Any candidate who is pursuing the Civil Judge exam needs to know that certain skills are expected in the Main Exam, and it is very essential that these skills are to be developed while preparing for the preliminary exam itself. In this video, we are going to discuss all those aspects. Already, videos have been published pertaining to the preliminary exam, and I've given the link of all those videos in the iCard. There are 7 videos. Kindly watch all those videos so that you get an idea of how the preliminary exam is to be attempted. And in addition to this, there is a video which was posted on tips for translation. Kindly watch that video also. It will be very helpful for the judicial exam aspirants. Now, you need to know what is the major differences between the preliminary exam and the main exam. Generally, if you know the differences or what is being expected or how the preliminary exam and main exam is being conducted, it would really be helpful for you in determining the way in which you need to travel or the path which you need to take for success in these 2 exams. Coming to the major differences. Now, if you see, the way the questions are being asked in the preliminary exam and main exams are absolutely different. It is multiple choice questions, which is called as MCQs in preliminary exam, whereas in the main exam, questions are framed in such a way that you give a detailed or an answer which contains an explanation. And with respect to answering, as you all know, in multiple choice questions, you either tick the answer, or in case if you go for online answering mode, you click the answers. And in case of optical mark recognition, OMR sheets, you shade the answers. Whereas in main exams, it is handwritten. So it is very important to note that you need to have the practice of writing. Generally, we used to type. So you need to understand that that habit needs to be developed. The habit of writing needs to be developed. And it's very important that a good handwriting secures more marks. Next is expected skills. If you see the preliminary exam, they expect speed and accuracy. It is multiple choice questions. You need to read the questions and answer the questions within few seconds. You should be that much fast. At the same time, you need to understand or you need to identify the exact answer for the question which is being asked. Whereas in main exam, more than speed, the in-depth analysis or the in-depth knowledge you possess in an act is being tested. So in this case, you need to have in-depth knowledge of whatever you study. So that is the reason the main exams are generally limited to the procedure codes, Evidence Act and Constitution. This is almost common for many of the states. So with respect to main exam, you need to know that in-depth knowledge is very much essential. Next, coming to the syllabus. Generally, the preliminary exam will have a vast syllabus compared to the main exam. Whereas in main exam, the subject or the syllabus will be very limited, but still the intricate details are also very important when it comes to the main exam. Because the people, those who are competing in the main exam, are more capable compared to the people who are competing in the preliminary exam. Coming to the preparation mode. Generally in preliminary exam, questions on aptitude are also asked, general knowledge is asked, and law related questions are also asked. And sometimes mathematical reasoning is also asked. In all these cases, you need to study general knowledge and aptitude related aspects and mathematical reasoning. Everything you need to practice. Whereas in the main exam, it is very much restricted only to the law related subjects. If you compare to the competition level, In preliminary, there is so much of competition in the sense like many people write the preliminary exam. Once you clear the preliminary exam, there will be a core of aspirants who are really capable enough, and the number gets limited in the main exam. They'll have a ratio as 1 is to 10 or 1 is to 20 or 1 is to 5 depending on the availability of the vacancies. Coming to the competitors, in preliminary exam there may be many candidates who straight away come and write the exam without any preparation, or there may be people who have very less caliber but have an interest to become a judge, and there could be people who have high caliber. So we can range it like this, from a low caliber level to a high caliber level. Whereas in main exam, the people who at least have the moderate level of caliber get selected, and it may even rank to the extent of higher caliber. So competition varies accordingly. And with respect to vacancy sharing proportion, for example, imagine if there are some 100 vacancies, when 2000 people write an exam for this 100 vacancies, the competition or the proportion in which the vacancy share will be much more higher. Once it goes to the main exam, the ratio of the proportion is decided accordingly. So we need to know that as we progress, the number of people competing goes down. On the contrary, the quality of the people goes on increasing. So you need to improve your quality when you go high. Whereas in preliminary, you need to focus on getting a secured position in the main examination by scoring more marks. Next, you need to know what are the skills which are expected in the main exam. There are certain aspects which are expected in the main exam. When a question is being asked in the main exam, the examiner wants to test certain particular skills which you possess. Generally, we have translation passages in the main exams. What the examiner expects is that a person who is attending the main exam should have the basic language capability. This basic language capability could contain various aspects. Generally, it is not stipulated to a particular act or a particular code. Next is legal procedure. So in this, mainly questions are asked from civil procedure code and criminal procedure code. One is pertaining to the civil aspects, the other is pertaining to the criminal related cases. Third is analysis, applicability and admissibility of evidences. So for this, you need to know Indian Evidence Act. Indian Evidence Act deals with the way in which evidence should be dealt with, or evidences which can be accepted, or evidences which can be accepted under what situations, or evidences which are inadmissible. The next is thorough knowledge on the format. If you see, there are plenty of annexures in various acts, and in civil procedure code as well as in criminal procedure code, various schedules are there. In addition to this, in certain acts, there are some rules which are being prescribed, some formats which are being prescribed. You need to know all those formats and all those procedural aspects, because that will help you to determine whether the case is being filed in a proper format. If we are going to become a judge, we need to know how a case is to be filed, what is the format in which it should be filed. So that skill is also being tested in the main exam. The next one is implication or knowledge of Constitution of India. So in this, they check what is your capability in understanding or the implications which an act could have in the Constitution, or how a Constitution can control the authority of an act, whether the act ultraviolates the Constitution. For this, we can refer to various judgments of the Supreme Court or the High Court. In addition to this, there are certain other skills which are required in a judge. So these skills are also being tested. For example, they might ask you to write a judgment, or they may ask you to frame charges or issues. So these are all the basic aspects which are being tested in the main exam. So All these aspects comes only by experience. It does not come within a day's time. So you need to keep on constantly practicing these aspects so that it accumulates day by day. Now, coming to the language capabilities. What is a language capability, or what they expect? The first aspect what they say is you should have a thorough and sufficient knowledge as to how a language functions, and in this there are various aspects included. For example, your grammatical skill or your grammatical understanding, the vocabulary you have in a particular language, or how you frame sentences, or how you identify the synonyms or antonyms in a language. This could be applicable to the regional language as well as English or any other language which has been stipulated. And the next is your ability to convert a particular text or subject from one language to another language. And for example, it could be from a regional language to English, or from English to regional language. To be more specific, it could be like from Hindi to English, or from English to Hindi, or from any regional language, Tamil to English, or English to Tamil, or Punjabi to English, or English to Punjabi. It could be any regional language against English. And the next what they expect is the knowledge about words. As I stated earlier, your vocabulary will be taken into account. Vocabulary in the sense it is not just pertaining to the English language, but also pertaining to various practical words which are being used in certain industries. For example, it could be in a particular industry pertaining to medical aspects, or it could be pertaining to any construction related aspects. There are plenty of industries where certain technical words are used, which would be very essential when a case is being filed pertaining to the aspects involved in that industry. Next is, you need to know how to translate a pleading, any form, or chief or cross examination. This is very much essential because the parties who are coming to the court, who are contesting, they may be not having a knowledge about the court proceedings, or they could be incapable of speaking in a particular language. So all these scenarios might crop up when a case comes into the court. So it is the essential capability or the essential requirement for a judge to understand the language in the proper perspective. It's a great pleasure to share with you that our channel has crossed 250 subscribers, 4,000 views, 300 hours of watch time within just 1 month and 19 days. You all made this possible. We are growing exponentially. My heartfelt thanks for your support. If you like the video, please do subscribe the channel by pressing the red color subscribe button and select all to receive the notification immediately when a video is published in the channel. Do share the channel to those who are in need. If you like the video, please do press the thumbs up button. Your comments are most welcome in this channel. Let us join hands together and contribute for a learned society. Thank you.